Today on the show, we're going to count down the top 5 digital tools that we use for marketing our consulting business. We're going to show you how you can use them too and how you can use them to save time and actually get more impact from the marketing you're doing to ensure that you're attracting those ideal prospects that are going to turn into retainers, projects, and contracts. And before we get into the countdown, I also want to let you know that we've got a top 30 list right there in the comments, which you can download right now, that is going to give you the top 20 tools that we use total and a whole bunch of other website builders and other consulting tools that the general consultants out there that we work with use. I wanted to make sure that you had an opportunity to get that. If you click on the link, you can get that right now, absolutely free. All right, so counting down from number 5 all the way down to 1, we're going to start at number 5. Drum roll, please. Lead Pages. Now, Lead Pages is a fantastic tool that we use just about every single week, and we use it for creating our landing pages. Now, if you don't have landing pages for your consulting business, I recommend that you do. You've got your website that talks about all the different things that you do and the services, but websites, by their definition, are not great at counting or collecting leads, and that's because, by the definition, they are a series of archives of links, which means they've got all these links that distract people from taking the next step. So we use landing pages to enable them to have a simple offer, take a simple step, and actually give contact details in exchange for something of value. Maybe it's a white paper, maybe it's an insight report, maybe it's a downloadable video, right? There are all these useful things that you can actually present to prospects to engage them at the right time. Now, we use Lead Pages because it's a very simple tool to put websites and web landing pages together. Now, I'm from the digital space. I am actually a coder, and I coded in PHP when we used to build websites. I use this tool not because it can do all the complicated things, but because it does things fast. And so if you're looking to use landing pages for either resource downloads or you're using it for events, Lead Pages is a really useful one because it plugs into a lot of the other assets that we use, including things like taking payments through Stripe. So number 1, Lead Pages. All right, let's talk about number 4. It is vidIQ. vidIQ is something I've only been using more recently than before, and part of that is because I'm using a lot of work through YouTube. And because of the work that I'm doing through YouTube, it's enabling us to have a really nice starting point for creating engaging content in our marketing. Now, what does vidIQ do? Well, it enables us to have a look at what the competition's up to. It enables us to brainstorm with the artificial intelligence that's sitting within vidIQ to come up with all sorts of brainstormed ideas for content we can create. Now, part of that content is what you see delivered here on this channel, but also part of that content can be taking the ideas from the videos and saying we can create an article out of that. We can create a series of posts out of that, whether it be on LinkedIn or Facebook or any other platform that we're using in the social space. So vidIQ has some fantastic statistic packages. It has a greater way to create and generate all these different ideas for the content. And then finally, it has an amazing way of actually tracking your competitors and really finding out what are the keywords and the key phrases that people are using to find businesses much like your own. So I recommend using vidIQ. There's a little bit of a cost to it, but it is a fantastic tool that we are definitely using more than once a week. All right, let's talk about number 3. Number 3 is Meet Alfred. Meet Alfred, funnily enough, my editor's name is Alfred too, so Meet Alfred. Hi, Alfred. But the Meet Alfred platform is something I've been using for a number of years now. It interacts with LinkedIn and enables you to do a bunch of different activities that you might have a virtual assistant and one of your team members, or something that you might do yourself. It enables you to do those tasks. Now, those tasks could be something as simple as connecting with other people. You'll have a list of names. It'll go and connect with those people for you. Yes, it can message people. Sometimes I don't like the idea of some artificial intelligence or some bot messaging on my behalf, but it can do those things. But it does some really cool things that you don't necessarily expect. For instance, it goes out and looks at a list of individuals. So there might be a short list, let's say 100 or 200 people that you want to stay top of mind with. It will go and have a look at their profile on LinkedIn, which tells the person that you looked at them, right? Which is a really nice way of being top of mind. So often they'll then come and have a look at your profile. they'll see some of the other content you're creating, and they'll be able to interact with you in a much more energetic way. So it goes and acts like a human to go and do this work for you. Now, a little bit of warning. Any of the pieces of software that interact directly with the social platforms in particular are usually against terms of service. And in this case, it absolutely is. And so I'm not recommending that you definitely use it, but it is something that we've used in the past, and we've been able to, we've identified how useful it can be without actually taking the place or taking the role of me as the person interacting with the end user. I like to have conversations directly with the people on my profile. I don't really use Meet Alfred for that, but it is a great way of touching base with people and for getting research, even without something like Sales Navigator or LinkedIn Premium. You can actually use a tool like Meet Alfred to do a whole bunch of things, and now it actually integrates with more than just LinkedIn. It'll actually integrate with sending emails, and you can create sequences where it might do something on LinkedIn, send an email to someone, maybe look at another social platform and do something there. And it allows you to become a bit more omnipresent. So someone starts to notice you in the different spaces where they are. So Meet Alfred is something that it's not a case of using it on a daily or a weekly basis. When we are using it, it's sort of running in the background and acting like an artificial intelligence virtual assistant for me in my business. Continuing to count down to number 2, we have Calendly. Now, Calendly is a booking service, and if you don't already have a booking service, is one I would recommend. There are a bunch of different ones out there, but what Calendly is great at is it enables people to be able to book times with you when you're not there. So yes, you could have it on your website as a link that people can click, find a time to actually make an appointment with you. But I like to use it as a way of, through a conversational interaction, instead of the back and forth of trying to find a time, I will often say to someone, to make it easy for you, I have a calendar which I could send you so you can pick a time that suits you best. Now, that's a bit of a scripted way of me saying it, but what I don't like about the automated calendars is when someone takes a calendar and forces it upon me. And so I never do that for anyone I would like to actually meet. I offer them. I invite that if they would like, I can send them that calendar link. And so Calendly enables me to make a bunch of different types of calendars, a bunch of different appointments that people can book into my calendar with. So I have a 15-minute one, and I do that because I don't want to have these big conversations most of the time. I want to have small, fast conversations to see if there's something further to talk about. I have one that's like an hour when I'm doing my podcast interviews. I have one that's half an hour for having a chat, which is something a little bit longer than just checking in. And there are other ones that I use for strategy, and there are all sorts of different times depending on what I would use on a regular basis. So Calendly is great for an easy way that people can book into your calendar, because what I love about it is it interacts with your current appointments and will actually block out times when you already have appointments. So you're not using a calendar of some sort or a booking system of some sort within your business. I recommend Calendly, or to go and get something that's going to make it easier for people to book in to a time that suits them best. All right, and the final one, drum roll, that is worth looking at will be ChatGPT. Now, why do I keep mentioning ChatGPT? Well, because it continues to improve. Now, ChatGPT I've been talking about for a couple of years now, and it continues to get better. So not only with ChatGPT 4, but also with the new updates that have just recently happened, I'm now integrating a bunch of different artificial intelligence that I use into the one platform. So before I was using Midjourney to do any sort of automation of image content. Midjourney is fantastic for actually developing images. We're now able to do that same thing on ChatGPT because they've integrated DALL-E into the system. So usually I use DALL-E as a way of taking an image and then making it bigger or longer or stretching it out. Traditionally, it hasn't been fantastic at making really high quality images, and that's why I was using Midjourney. But recently, with the new updates that have happened, they've taken DALL-E and you can't use it anymore. It's now integrated into ChatGPT. And so now you have the opportunity, and you can't even see where you do it. You literally just say, make an image of this thing, and it creates an image for you right in the text editor itself. So we've just used this for a recent event. I then take those images because of my background in the graphics space, whether you've got a team member, you could potentially do it yourself. And I use some of the other tools that we use in the business to take a base plate image and then do some things that make it much more branded around the work that we would do. So we don't just take an image and leave it as is. We take an image and we actually adapt it to make sure it fits and suits our marketing and our brand. But ChatGPT continues to get better. They continue to integrate things that were plugins that you would add. Now it is so much more powerful, and there's some really new stuff that's just come out around being able to have it speak to you on a phone and actually look at your surroundings, know what's going on around you, know what you're wearing, and actually be able to comment and talk about the things that are happening as you're showing it within the environment around you. So it continues to get bigger and better. I think really at this point, if you don't have something like ChatGPT or a subscription to ChatGPT, you're really not taking this seriously. Now is the time, especially if you're in a consulting business or a business of expertise, that you do have some form of artificial intelligence. I use it on a very regular basis, usually every second day or so, to brainstorm, to come up with ideas for clients and for our marketing. And if you don't have an assistant like this, you're probably working at half speed, to be honest, because it accelerates all the things that we're doing. And usually where I would spend 2 or 3 hours working on ideas for clients or working on ideas with clients, it'll speed those up to maybe taking half an hour to actually get the same output that I would do in 3. So I'm not using it to replace language. I'm doing my own writing. I'm not using it to replace me. I'm still taking images. I'm working with those images. I'm doing other things. I'm still taking and bringing my own ideas to the platform. So it's not working instead of me. It's now partnering with me so that I can actually elevate and accelerate the work that I'm doing on the platform. So in the comments below, I'd love you to let us know, what is your top digital tool right now? What's one that you're using in your consulting practice? Don't forget, you can also go to the link and get our top 20 tools that have got the additional web building tools and the additional other consulting tools that we recommend and that our clients are using in their consulting business. This has been episode number 83 of the Your Consulting Business podcast. My name is Russell Pearson. Until next time, stay passionate, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye for now.